Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. We are from Group 1 that will present seminar presentation for today. Did you know what is our topic? Our topic for seminar presentation is 21st Century Science Classroom. First of all, we have to know about the introduction and definition of 21st Century Science Classroom. In 2012, New Malaysian Education Development Plan was introduced. Starting from 2013, this plan highlights on the implementation of 21st century learning skills in all major subjects, including science subjects. 21st Century Science Classroom is a learning process that focuses on student-centered approach based on elements of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and values and ethical applications. Next, 21st Century Classroom integrate current technology into lessons to increase students' learning and prepare students for future technologically that advance in society. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, which topics that cover extensively in 21st Century Classroom and use technology to across all disciplines. Besides, 21st Century Skill is a comprehensive range of information, skills, work habits, and character attributes seen to be necessary to success in today's society, notably in educational programs and modern careers and workplace. There are 3 skills which are learning skills, literacy skills, and life skill. For your information, the 21st Century Classroom emphasizes several important aspects that are practiced in the classroom. Emphasized aspects that are taken are students' collaboration in the classroom with students and teachers, hands-on lesson to increase student understanding related to the outside world, creativity in learning. Next, teacher assess work transparently so that students know and will get clear feedback related to their work. Practicing inquiry-based learning lessons and integrate technology in the classroom. Now, we will go through the characteristics of 21st Century Science Classroom. First, we will go through to the classroom settings. There are 6 characteristics of classroom settings, which are: first, student-centered learning. Second, teacher still plays a role as a classroom authority figure, but it still functions more as a coach or facilitator when students receive a more active and collaborative role in their own learning. Third, education becomes a more shared experience between the instructor and the students and between the students themselves. Fourth, members of the class learn to work independently and to interact with others as part of the learning process. Fifth, students build collaboration skills. And lastly, students will build communication skills. Next, we will look at a guide to creating a 21st century classroom. There are several materials that can be placed in the classroom. First, hanging material, which should be meaningful and support learning in classroom. Second, marker space, which design area of your classroom or school in which your students learn to use materials and tools to create something unique. Third, classroom library, that consists of library shelf and should be at a kid-friendly height. Next, it also thoughtfully designed and organized so students can use independently. Fourth is students' lounge that consists of large pillow, bean bags, and yoga balls. Promote a learning environment with flexible seating. Tech station that students can use computers for research and projects. Then it also should include a tablet card and charging station. Sixth, in classroom, it should have whiteboard which is lower so students can accessible easily. Next, consists of discussion space where students can work in a small group and discuss. Then, workspace that support students whether work in a small groups, pairs, individually, and it should prepare variety preferable such as high tables, low tables, round tables, and square tables. And lastly, which are cupboards that organize and keep classroom materials that should be available to students.
For the next part, let's look at the curriculum in the aspect of characteristic of 21st century science classroom. Okay, firstly we should know about the Act of Education. Do you know about the national curriculum under the Education Act 1996? It's okay if you guys don't know. So, national curriculum in the Education Regulation 1997 under the Education Act 1996 state that an educational program that includes curriculum and co-curricular activities that encompass all knowledge, skills, norms, value, cultural elements and belief to assist a student's full development in terms of physical, spiritual, mental and emotional, as well as to instill and enhance desired moral values and to impart knowledge. It is crucial to reform the curriculum that fulfill all elements required in the Act of Education. Now, you know about the national curriculum in the Malaysia Education Act. Let's move to the revolution of curriculum implementation in Malaysia for primary and secondary schools. In the 1989, KBSM was introduced while KBSR was introduced in 1993. And in 2003, this both curriculum was reviewed, resulting to the birth of KSR in 2011 and KSM in 2017. The evolution of curriculum in Malaysia is very important so that the curriculum can be improved, and we know that the curriculum use are flexible, dynamic, competitive and relevant to the current future needs and aligned with the national education philosophy. Did you know that in the curriculum, there is the unpacking the curriculum concept? Yes, in our education system, there is the concept. Unpacking the curriculum refers an aim to reorganize content standard, learning standard and performance standard into annual and daily lesson plans based on students' abilities by using appropriate pedagogy to achieve learning objective. In the implementation of teaching, learning and assessment, there are three processes of unpacking the curriculum, which are the first one is learn the DSKP, secondly annual lesson plan, and lastly daily lesson plan. Let's look at it one by one. For the first one, teacher need to learn the DSKP by knowing the terms and function of each standard. There are three standards contained in the DSKP, which are content standard, learning standard and performance standard. Content standard is a specific statements about what students should know and can do during the schooling period. Learning standard is a predetermined criteria or indicator of the quality in learning and achievement that can be measured for each content standard. And lastly, performance standard, which refer to a set of general criteria which reflects the level of student achievement that they should display as a sign that certain topic has been mastered. This is the example of content standard, learning standard and performance standard in the SKP Form 4 Biology Chapter 9. Besides, in the process of unpacking the curriculum, teachers need to make annual lesson plan. The annual lesson plan is produced by organizing topic accordingly on the number of weeks in a year in a modular or linear ways, reconsider the time of examination in the school. The right strategies need to be chosen to apply 4C1V skills. What is 4C1V skills? 4C1V skill is 5 elements in the 31st century learning skill, which are communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and values and ethics. Lastly, we have daily lesson plan. It is report that a teacher need to make after every teaching and learning session for every day. The daily lesson plan should consist of objectives that align with learning standard, suitable teaching and learning strategies and activity, the choosing of right assessment, And lastly, reflection after the teaching and learning session. Yay! We are done learning the process of unpacking the curriculum in the 21st century learning.
So, what is 21st century pedagogy? The goal of 21st century pedagogy is to build the skills and knowledge that students will need to succeed in the workplace, in life, and as citizens. Throughout the student life, 21st century skills can be applied in all subject areas and in all educational, career, and civic settings. School must implement new teaching methods that match the changing world. Rather than just presenting knowledge, teachers should spend in-class time to educate students how to find, analyze, and use the information. We will continue with the 21st century pedagogy. Student-centered, ubiquitous, digitally networked and connected, and learner-driven classroom are described by students being placed in the driver's seat and in control of their own learning in team-oriented physical and virtual, which is cyber learning environment in the 21st century. Self-directed learners with creative skills like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, higher order thinking, collaborative and cooperative teamwork, meaningful use of technology, effective communication, and global knowledge are expected of 21st century learners. There are many skills in 21st century skills, such as critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, research skill, research practice, creativity, curiosity, imagination, innovation, perseverance, self-direction, planning, oral and written communication, public speaking and presenting, listening, leadership, teamwork and collaboration, information and communication technology, which is ICT, and media and internet literacy.
Let's proceed to the last characteristic, which is assessment and evaluation. 21st century science classroom has been constructed based on national assessment education. It divided into two parts, which is school-based assessment and centralized examination. In school-based assessment, there have been three assessments required students to follow. First one, which is classroom assessment. Second, assessment of physical activity, sport and curriculum, and the third one, which is psychometric assessment. Classroom assessment is considered as the duty of teachers to inform teachers' instructional decision making and student learning. Classroom assessment is an important dimension to ensure the effectiveness of a curriculum carried out in the classroom. Implementation of classroom assessment is carried out in two ways, which is formative and summative. In formative assessment, which is ongoing assessment or known as assessment for learning, is essential as it gives appropriate and timely feedback to students and how it can improve their work. Students can be assessed through tests, quiz, practical work, project, and etc. Next, summative assessment or assessment of learning is carried out by the end of the learning unit, end of the semester or end of the year. Then, summative assessment in the form of mid-year exam or end of the year exam is administered to the student. Teacher will mark student exam script, record their achievement and report their performance level in the terms of mark and grades. Co-curriculum activity fuel your learning by stimulating creative thought, improving social and organizational skills, developing interest and talent. Co-curricular activity are an essential part of any good university application. Besides, it will improve leadership skill by driving a team effort, being bold in deciding how to spend a free time, even organizing club after school or leading one. These are all the sort of attributes that university administration officer will be on the lookout for. Next, which is SEGA. SEGA is abbreviation of the word Standard Kecergasan Fizikal Kebangsaan for Malaysian school children. The physical fitness component measured in SEGA is contained in the primary and secondary school physical education curriculum. The goal of SEGA is for students to always be sensitive, knowledgeable and practice fitness activities to increase and maintain the level of physical fitness based on optimal health. A psychometric assessment is conducted to evaluate a person's skill, personality, behavior and ability. Its goal is to determine whether an individual meets certain requirements or standards.
It involves the use of questionnaire, conducting personality tests, and assessing the person's educational achievement. Next, multiple intelligence inventory. One of the most significant results of the theory of multiple intelligence is how it has provided 8 different potential pathways to learning, which is words, number or logic, pictures, media, and music. Career inventories provide educators with vital information needed to accurately assist students in their career planning process. Inventories are used to help students learn more about their interests, values, and skills. There are several types of inventories that educators can utilize to assist students. The first one, which is personality inventories. Second, work value inventories. Third one, which is skill inventories, and the last one, which is aptitude inventories. Examination is to determine the level of achievement of student in secondary school. Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia (SPM) have grade of examination by alphabet to make identify the achievement of students during the lesson in secondary school. A transformation report has been made to make sure the report more suitable with the 21st century education.
For the next part, let's learn about the importance of 21st century science classroom. There are a lot of reasons why 21st century skill is important to be implemented in Malaysia. The first one is to raising the standard of education in Malaysia to achieve the international standards. Besides, it can producing a future individual that is equipped with knowledge and skills to face the challenges of 21st century. 21st century science classroom also can optimize the use of technologies and facilities in education along with the technological advancement nowadays. It also can change the style of teaching and learning in Malaysia from teacher-centered to student-centered learning. So, it can increase student and teacher engagement in class and make the class become enjoyable. Lastly, 21st century science classroom also can increase teacher skills, knowledge and qualities. This is because in the 21st century curriculum, teachers need to constantly reflect on the pedagogy implemented in the classroom to always be in line with the teaching and learning progress.
In this session, I will talk about medium used in 21st century classroom. We will go through the example of medium used in 21st century science classroom. The first one is WhatsApp. As one of the online platforms that enables students and teachers to communicate with each other, WhatsApp is an online platform that can be used as a medium for 21st century learning. The next one is Telegram. Same with the WhatsApp application, Telegram enables students to converse their teachers if they have any question regarding the topic or problem that they encounter during studying. There are no significant difference between both applications, it's just a matter of preference. The third one is quizzes. Quizzes is an online platform that are used to make quizzes by the teachers to their students. It could be used by the teachers to measure their students' knowledge about the topic. This medium is great for 21st century type of teaching and learning. The next one is Google Classroom. In 21st century that prioritizes online-based learning, a place where the teachers can put all the information and notes is very important. Google Classroom is a website and applications that can be used by the teachers to update all the notes and exercise available for the students. The fifth one is Padlet. Padlet is an online medium that can be used by both teachers and students where they want to upload any exercise or assignment. In Padlet, all the people that join the forum can see others' work and give comment about it. It would help the students to know his own weakness and have the chance to fix the weaknesses. Last but not least is the Google Meet. Google Meet is a medium that enables students and teachers to meet each other. In this medium, the teachers can lively present their notes while teaching the students. This medium is very useful because it could allow the students to ask the question to the teachers directly.
Now let's take a look comparison before and after having 21st century science classroom. In 20th century, classroom presentation and material are typically developed in advance outside of class with teachers as primary developers. Meanwhile, in 21st century classroom, presentation and material are developed dynamically both inside and outside class, with students as co-developers or as primary developers. Next, classroom activity often focus on the teacher as presenter and the student as audience. But in 21st century classroom, activity focus on student as participant and the teacher as guide or mentor. Passive learning and textbook driven, which is content come from textbook, have been applied before having 21st century classroom. Meanwhile, active learning and research driven applied after having 21st century classroom. Meanwhile, lesson in 21st century is designed on upper level of Bloom taxonomy, which is synthesis, analysis, evaluation, and include lower level of curriculum is designed down from top. The last one, which is literacy in 3R, reading, writing, and math are used in 20th century. Meanwhile, multiple literacy of the 21st century align to living and working in globalized new millennium.
Challenges of 21st century science skill. Adapting 21st century skill is not as easy like early century. It really needs a lot of effort from a lot of sides. But before that, let us take a look at the challenges of 21st century science skill first. First, learning environment. Environment and surrounding are really close to students, but unsupportive environment can help overcome in adapting 21st century skill. Nowadays, school does not have sound space in providing modern technology for them to practice. They still use old school method and tools in lab practical. Many secondary teachers does not have any extra experience and training in teaching science. Common situation that all of us can see is when they conduct experiment. Most of secondary teachers does not have experience, and not only that, sometimes they come from other fields. Next, some parents think that every type of skill can only be applied in school, but actually that is wrong. Parents also can help in adapting the skill, example like communicating. If student does not practice communicate since they are at home, it will be harder for teachers soon at school. Next, textbook is the main sources that student will refer to, but sometimes textbook also have misconceptions in their information. This will lead to misleading and will make student confused. Last, student is never enough time. Students don't have enough time in school gaining and practicing new knowledge and skill. Moreover, they will lack in practical skill. Initiative in overcome the challenges. First, government. Run a seminar to work science teacher to gain experience and import experienced trainer for each workshop. Second, for school. Run workshops in equip teachers in their teaching strategies and experiences, giving them hands-on demonstration and organize peer teaching activities. For parents and society, start adapting 21st century skill from the house. Adapting behavior skill with environment and surrounding. Last but not least, for students, set up personal learning plans and start use any kind creative technology and platform to upgrade skill.